Hi, I am RAUL ROA ESTILISTA. Well, today I want to make a video by request. I have some subscribers asking about the difference in coloring techniques. Well, there are many, but I will focus on the most popular ones. There are highlights, which are strands that are lightened using the cap technique, pulling out small sections with a crochet needle through the cap or using aluminum foil, bands, or any isolator that works for us. We are going to lighten 2 or 3 shades from the natural base. We are going to lighten the hair, and I will give the hair some highlights. It's not very noticeable, and it's useful for people who have never dyed their hair and want to start exploring the world of color. The advisable thing is to start with some highlights. If they like it and want something lighter, they move on to the second option, which is streaks. The streaks are lighter. Streaks are done with bleaching. It's the same process as highlights, but then you work with bleaching. Bleaching offers me a much lighter base, reaching a blonde tone, and well, the hair will obviously be lighter. As the hair becomes lighter, the face looks nicer because it slims the features, eliminates expression lines by removing the shadow that covers the face, and it brightens up, which is why people look younger. The Californian highlights aim to emulate people who practice water sports in California due to the salinity of the sea and the minerals when they are in contact and are going in and out of the water, allowing that saline water to evaporate under the sun's action. There is a lightening of the natural pigments, and that's why we see a much lighter effect on the ends. So these people who are out from morning until afternoon, 7 days a week practicing these water sports, obviously the lightening of the hair becomes noticeable. The Californian highlights aim to emulate this effect, and that's why they are named Californian highlights. And this was achieved by the stylist James Design. He was the one who took on the task and said, well, how can I achieve this if I saturate the hair at the ends and gradually fade towards the roots? Then by having more saturation, I'll achieve more lightening. And that's why we see the Californian effect. We can achieve it with bleaching or with super lighteners. When we work with super lighteners, the super lightener is a dye with a lot of lightening power, and we use it on natural hair to give a lighter effect. The super lightener does not work on dyed hair because, remember, it is a dye, and dye does not lighten dye. On dyed hair, we have to use bleaching to achieve this Californian effect. There is the D-Day or effect with blue, fuchsia, equal green, blue, equal yellow, equal tips, and they start to play with that. So, it's an evolution of the Californian style, or a branch of the Californian style, where it's something more modern, and it's called D-Day. We also have another effect called balayage. It is of French origin, and its translation is sweeping. And basically that's it. We apply enough product on the tip and start sweeping, moving towards the root to achieve a greater gradation, resulting in a much more natural effect because we can leave some strands without working on them. A worked lightened strand, one without lightening, as I show in my videos on balayage techniques. The original, well, it comes without any protection, but it's riskier, meaning working on the strands in the open air is riskier. It can be done, but you also don't achieve a very clear lightening base. When you work with insulators, it can be aluminum foil, or it can be pelon paper or thermal paper. Placing a strip over the hair, you work the technique and then place that on top. First, you will achieve greater product saturation, and second, it will help achieve greater lightening. Unlike when you work on the hair itself in the open air, you can't saturate much because the hair on the sides can get stained or the roots can become oversaturated. In fact, it's more risky. You can work with it, but you won't achieve greater lightening. You can work with it, but you won't achieve high bleaching or greater lightening. The morena iluminada technique is a variant of balayage specifically designed for dark hair, okay, where the goal is not to completely lighten, but to create light and dimension in a natural and sophisticated way. It is done freehand, blending the color from mid-lengths to ends to achieve a soft gradient without harsh lines. This type of coloring maintains the natural depth of the hair, while adding movement and shine with tones like caramel, honey, or beige. The result is a brightened, modern, elegant hairstyle that is easy to maintain. Ideal for those who want a subtle change but with a lot of style and personality. There is another technique called baby live, which is designed solely to create highlights in the hair. We work it the same way now as balayage, but we only use dye or lighteners, and it is designed to work on natural hair at level 6, 7, 8 or lighter, aiming to emulate the natural highlights of baby hair. In this case, blonde hair. If we have dark hair, it is necessary to lighten it beforehand before doing this process, and it would have to be done with bleaching. And there is another technique called ombre. The ombre technique aims for a gradation from dark to light. So, either the Californian effect or balayage is worked with bleaching. We are going to work with bleaching. After the bleaching is done and we achieve the lightening base we are looking for, we go to the wash basin, wash the hair very well with shampoo, without kneading, condition it afterward, and apply the dye to the roots. This dye will be a level 3 or 4. We will apply it to the roots and leave about 4, 5 or 6 centimeters. I have seen longer ones too, as it is up to each person's preference, and we will apply that product only to the roots. After an exposure time of about 30 minutes, we take our client to the wash basin, apply water to the hair, apply water over the dye, and proceed to make an emulsion. An emulsion is like making a kind of shampoo. We will carry the product towards the ends, leave it for a few seconds because we are working with levels 3 or 4, and we will leave it for just about 20 or 30 seconds. You have to keep an eye on it. We emulsify it to add pigment, and the result will be a gradation from dark to light. Well, thank you very much. That's what I wanted to tell and share with you. I hope I have met your expectations. If you like the video, share it with your friends. I always respond to all your comments. Thank you very much. See you soon.